Well, moving on, in Yemen, dozens of people have reportedly been killed in fighting in the southern province of Abyan. Reports say Yemeni government forces bombarded what it called several al-Qaeda-held sites, reportedly killing at least 20 militants. About 10 soldiers were also killed in the fighting. Sunday's violence came as a senior aide to U.S. President Barack Obama flew into Yemen to meet the country's new leader, Abdrabbu Mansur Hadi. John Brennan is Obama's counterterrorism advisor. Washington has stepped up its drone attacks in Yemen since Hadi took office in February. One of the bloodiest of U.S. drone attacks in Yemen took place in 2009 when dozens of people, many of them women and children, were killed in the Al-Majala region. Well, to discuss the situation in Yemen further, we're joined by Mark Glenn from the Crescent and Cross Solidarity Movement, joining us from Idaho. Sir, welcome to the program. If you may tell us and our viewers what's going on in Abyan and the operations that have taken place in the, quote, al-Qaeda-held site as claimed by Sana'a.
Well, I think that we have to look at the timing of this. I certainly don't think that it was a coincidence, rather, that John Brennan is flying into Yemen to meet with Yemen's new leader at the same time that this massive government operation against al-Qaeda is taking place. Yemen is a very impoverished country and needs U.S. dollars, specifically in the form of military aid, because there's basically no industry and no economy in the country outside of the money that the United States gives Yemen for military expenditure. So the fact that the Yemenis army is such an important part of its economy, and that the United States is funding this. Obviously, it's important at a time when Obama's counterterrorism advisor is going to be meeting with the new president. That it looks like the new president is busy doing the bidding of the United States, so as to keep that flow of dollars continuing.
And Mr. Glenn, if you may share your thoughts with us regarding the expansion of the drone strikes in Yemen. One account back in 2009 in the Al-Majala region, which left many women and children dead. Also, yet no one has been held accountable for that incident.
Yes, of course, and of course this is just one of dozens, if not hundreds, if indeed not thousands, of similar instances where innocents have been killed, not just in Yemen, but in Pakistan and in Afghanistan. I think for the most part what it is that it is more politically expedient to use drones in carrying out these operations rather than to actually have American boots on the ground, which may result in American casualties, which of course has political ramifications for it, particularly during an election year. In the case of Yemen, since we don't have, within the United States, don't have a proportional or an exceptionally large force of troops there, it would make sense to use drones in this region, and also for research and development as well. A lot of these theaters of conflict, particularly where the drones are being used, I believe that this is the U.S. military's way of testing out their new toys. So whether or not the drones are effective, whether or not the drones are called for, I think that this is just a giant laboratory, in a sense, for the United States military to be testing out these weapons in order to demonstrate their effectiveness on the weapons market. So, we cannot rule out the financial issue in all of this. But while our president may be talking about keeping Americans safe from al-Qaeda and from terrorism, as well, he has to answer to the powerful military-industrial complex that helped get him elected. And in order for that military-industrial complex to keep humming along, they need wars in order to be able to test out their various products so that they will be able to sell them on the world market.
All right, many thanks from the Crescent and Cross Solidarity Movement, Mr. Mark Glenn. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us here on Press TV.